happens after, let's just say now today, court say wind up. Okay, then liquidators come in. Okay, what does the liquidator do first thing?
So I think the first idea is that a lot of people think that once the winding up order is granted, pretty much nothing happens. The company just dies. As the word you used earlier, that you
Yeah,
just die.
die.
But that's not true.
You have
There's an
to.
afterlife.
Oh shit! I was gonna say I gotta dig up the burial spot and then I have to slowly get the casket in. No.
No, so pretty much what then happens is with the winding up order, the company, you would see that the company name is the same, but it ends up with the wordings at the back which says in liquidation. And that's why I say it has a second life, right?
After.
And at this point in time, what actually happens is the winding up affairs of the company. So the company is still existing, it is still there, but the purpose and the function has now completely changed. If initially it was for the purpose of profit making, as would most number huts be, now that's not the purpose. The purpose is really just to wind down the affairs of the company, realize the assets, and make the necessary payments to the creditors, and lead the company to dissolution. So that's exactly what happens in the second part of it once it passes through the winding up order.
Okay, but okay, a lot of people will ask, what happens to the director, shareholder, and employees? That
For me,
yeah.
okay. They upon winding up, they are still the director, still the shareholder, still the employee.
Okay.
But mainly for the employees, actually their employment ends together with the winding up of the company.
Oh.
But in most cases, whenever we take over the affairs, we will consider maybe a couple of individuals or key personnel in the company
To
that
stay.
may assist with the winding up of the company to just stay on for a little longer.
Okay.
It's not a permanent contract, just people that we identify that can assist. But in general, eventually they will all be terminated because the whole idea of it is to wind down the company, like what Anoopal has said. Yeah.
But okay, then if you say it's the employees will be terminated on the date of the winding up, so is that considered as an early termination? How do you compensate the employees?
We still fall back to the
Contract itself.
the termination benefit calculation.
I
We look
see.
into their
Okay.
contract,
Okay.
and we will come up with the necessary calculations. But of course, with their assistance, they will need to
Okay.
provide us with their proof of debt, supporting document. We'll go through the whole verification process.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then what about those who stay back to help with the liquidating part, the process? Like because you said that they are no longer employees, they're just there to help to liquidate the company. So then what are they then? How do you compensate them?
Upon their termination, we will still calculate their termination benefit.
Okay.
But we will normally give them a shorter term contract and things like that, just to help with a specific scope of work that we require,
Okay.
and we will remunerate them accordingly as well.
Okay. Okay, now my next question is, how do you pay them? Because let's just say the company is now already insolvent, right? There's no money to pay, and then you pay according to hierarchy. So where will they fall under?
Oh, we are talking about the whole waterfall effect.
Yeah, because the company got no money, right? That's why it's wound up.
They are still above the unsecured creditors. They are
So that
considered.
means they may not get back the money.
So when we employ an employee during our term, during the term of the liquidation,
Okay.
we usually only employ because we know there's funds.
Yeah.
If
Oh.
we know there's no funds, we will not take up that obligation because then we will also have to pay. We are personally liable for that duration in which we have employed them.
Oh.
So the decision whether to employ someone on that contract basis thereafter really depends on
How much
whether
money?
there's even any cash flow to sustain them, and in fact, why are you keeping them? So at most times when we know that the purpose is really just going down to its dissolution, we don't keep very long, at most 2 months, 3 months, within which our intention is to get as much information as we can,
Mm.
and so that we can close the affairs. And information is like, we need to know the latest accounts, we need to know some HR regulations and things like that.
Mhm.
So these are usually the personnel that we are looking after. But otherwise, the likelihood of keeping someone is very rare if
Oh.
we already know it's going towards dissolution.
Oh.
And I just want to add to that part. I think the idea is that when we get appointed, we are assuming these companies are still in operations. That when you get your winding up order, and when you go there and serve, you think you're walking in with a team of men in black and we're here to seize everything. But that's like maybe 10% of the chances you have a file like that.
Oh, okay.
But on 90% of the time, by the time your winding up order is even granted, and then you wait for the sale court order, nobody's there.
What do you mean nobody's there?
When
Nobody's in the
you-
company? Nobody's
yeah,
in the
when you go
office?
to
No
the
one's at the
business
business
address,
address.
the
Yeah.
business is not there.
Oh.
Yeah, so I think this is the first part, that in 90% of the cases, this is exactly what happens.
Oh.
So you may go there with your order and, thinking
Fully
that you're in
prepared.
some movie, but it's not like that.
But you have to serve it, right? Where do you serve it then?
So we make the effort to go to the premise,
Uh-huh.
and if there's no one there, we just come back to the office and deliver it by air or post.
Oh, that's very
I
underwhelming.
mean, that's the reality of it, right? So it's only in very rare circumstances. In fact, I think we only had one file last year,
This year.
that we went to
Yeah.
Kedah, and
Yeah.
we actually had a company that everyone was still there.
Oh.
Yeah.
With the winding up order, they were there running the business, waiting for us to arrive.
Oh.
But this is a very rare circumstances. In most of the time, they are not there.
Flat.
They're flat because your winding up order takes about maybe a year. If you've been defending it and you've been fighting it,
defending, okay.
so you're probably only going to get your order a year later. These guys already knew you were coming after me. They have fled. There's no one there. So at that point in time, there were also no employees there.
Oh.
So there's no one to terminate.
Okay, I recall, right, when the company is wound up, the director have to file a form, right?
Yes.
So
Statement of affairs.
yes, it's called a statement of affairs. Yes, thank you. And if the directors had fled, there's no statement of affairs to be. Nobody going to fill up that form. Then what happened? Then how do you know what's the assets under the company? What's the liabilities?
So this is why it takes so long to realize any assets in a winding up.
No.
So we will still send letters to the business address, and usually we do have the directors' residential addresses. And that's the only mode of communication we know, because we
Yeah.
probably do not have their phone numbers, so there's absolutely no way to contact them.
Yeah.
At most, perhaps the petitioner may have known the directors personally. They would have given us a contact and email or something. But actually, otherwise, we just have to rely on postal delivery of letters. They are required by law to fill in the statement of
Yeah,
affairs
exactly.
and deliver it back to us. Some directors do, some don't. Where they don't, we will file a complaint to the SSM.
Okay.
And where they do, we use that as the benchmark, the first benchmark to identify the assets of the company, the assets and liabilities of the company. That's the first document
Okay.
that would be available.
I don't understand. So what that document would point to you what are the assets of the company?
Yes.
Yes, one of the documents. The other
Oh.
document you will actually get is from the company secretary.
So how long is that gonna take?
Yeah, it's very long.
I mean, that's why, like what you mentioned earlier, the process takes years sometimes, because we literally building our information from scratch.
Oh.
Yeah, we need to go hunting.
Okay.
So we build information. So like say I have documents from COSAC,
Mhm.
then I would retrieve whether there were any resolutions to buy properties, sell
Yeah.
properties.
Okay.
Bank
Then you look at
accounts.
the audited accounts,
accounts.
what are there, what's not there.
Okay.
That's the first step. Then the second step is going to the banks and getting bank statements and things like that to basically we are painting a picture of something happened before that we have no clue about. And that's where the time actually gets spent.
It's like you are the investigating officer.
In a way.
Yeah,
In a
detective
way.
work.
Yeah, it's like detective.
Headmaster, disciplinarian.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Y'all
When-
are doing everything. Y'all wearing a lot of hats.
Yeah,
Yeah, because there's otherwise, because in some countries, there are authority or there are bodies that actually keep an asset register. So
Mm.
a company would register all their assets with a body. So that body is a similar body that we have here. It's called Companies Commissions of Malaysia.
Mm.
But here we don't have that practice.
I thought that we have like the website to search what company what who owns what land, all that, right? I remember I did a search like that, but it's an individual search lah.
I think there's not one for company. How we
Oh.
build things like land information is through land searches, or we go back to the land office and ask for information. We go back to JPJ to get vehicle information.
Oh.
So it's not one centralized database.
Yeah, it can be anything.
It can be
Any-
anything.
they own
Yeah.
anything.
Correct. So in fact, I think only about maybe 2 years ago that the housing development has required that all SPAs must be digitalized. And therefore now you have
Digitalized stuff.
something to find whether do you
Online.
own this particular asset or
Yeah,
not.
yeah,
Because
okay.
otherwise even that I don't think
You can
you
find
can
out.
actually find.
yeah. That's the latest compliance, right, for all the development projects.
Yes.
Yeah. So they have a copy of everything now. Don't buy too many properties, yeah. Remember
I
to
got
pay
no
your
money to
taxes.
buy. Not
I
like a
think,
lot
but
of money.
with the whole issue with the director not cooperating, I think maybe Rishi, have you like done some discovery order to compel the directors and things like that?
Yes.
Is it normally successful?
Well, it depends on how much on the run a particular director is, how seasoned they are in being evasive in conduct. If they are, sometimes involved in the corporate scene, they've got other going concerns, you'd still have them involved and being responsive, right? But if this was something which,
Last straw
they
already.
are last straw, they were part of it. It had its glory days, and then it's completely gone down, and depending then again case to case basis. The last part, they call it the twilight. Depending on whether they were on mischief side or they decided to, they were not on mischief side, but they could not prevent mischief side from happening. There were just so many permutations on that part. So then to get them to participate, okay, again, lawyers sometimes is also just about checklist of things that we have done. We know whether it's plausible or reasonable to expect this person to respond or not. I have had all types. I've had people who do respond. More often than not, they're not cooperative.
So which type appears in court when you put a discovery order?
Discovery, sometimes it is
Those
the one
the good guys lah.
The one who's got
No.
something to lose.
Yeah,
Like-
something to lose, but not wanting to comply nonetheless. Like,
Yeah.
they either fronted sometimes from the mischievous side as well, like,
Yes.
to say, you go fight this, make sure you just delay and deny everything, say there's no basis, this, that, the other,
What is the point of holding on to the properties that no longer belongs to you?
Oh, the whole host of answers. I don't want to take up all the answers you can hear from the liquidators as well. Agenda is always the key.
What is
and
the
well, you can simple things, right? So you can, if you set up a sale of an asset just during twilight zone, and something was worth 10 million, but you staged it and you
Oh.
in such a way that it was disposed for 2 million, and someone else is going to give you a handsome incentive from that 2 million.
Okay,
You
that
would
makes
be very
sense.
much
Okay,
happy
okay.
to want to participate in quite a number of
I would
things
have gone
before
run
it
away.
goes bust, you see. So that is why I say liquidators, they come in, you have to have, if you say you very strict mind, you have to be measured and composed as well, because you have to be able to sniff out the agenda of parties and throughout.
That's
And-
half the job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe more.
Are you
More-
trying to apply
Maybe
to be a
more.
detective?
Yeah. Yeah. On top of just like what Anu said earlier, securing assets and all that, this kind of investigative work is something that we need to do as well, because sometimes there's assets disappearing, during the twilight zone.
Yeah.
It's important, that part. Yeah.
I never
That's
thought
how
about
we
that.
can recover assets as well,
Mm.
Yeah. Because if something is done during that period, we can claw back and things like that. Yeah.
I remember going for a meeting, just sharing a story, and we met this director. In fact, two of the directors out of the three. The company is wound up, and here they are telling. So when we went in, they were very accommodative, gave us tea, spoke to us
Tea.
nicely, and then I
Wait,
was
when
like,
you say tea, you mean real tea?
like
or
real
like
tea,
Oh,
real
okay,
tea.
okay.
And then I said, okay, I need this list of documents, and they're like, yes, okay, we will provide to you, and so on. Then I walked out of the office, and this pretty new junior who joined us and said, oh, they're very nice. I said, you ain't getting anything. And true enough, nothing came forth. You just know, you just know these are the ones
19
that.
years of experience. Okay, so this is why it takes forever. The first step itself already take forever already. What more the second step?
Yes, correct. I think the first step is essentially putting the
Finding out.
puzzle together. Then once you have identified the asset, then comes the next challenge, which is securing the asset.
Yeah.
So
I was thinking of realizing the asset.
yeah, so you
Secure
can't
first.
realize
Sorry, I
if
need
it's not in your
secure.
possession.
Oh no.
So that is a whole host of problems of its own. And
Okay.
I mean, the best kind of assets are those that are fixed on the ground, they ain't running, so those are the good ones to have. But you will have things like trucks, you would have inventory, you would have
Cash.
cash.
sometimes.
Yeah, cash, that you absolutely very, very difficult to recover or put your hands onto it.
Cash, but your cash is in the office, right? Cash box.
So
No, ah?
cash works this way. If it's in the bank,
Oh,
we are
okay.
fine because it's
Okay.
there.
Yeah.
But if it's a cash that you see the money has been, and then when you do your asset tracing, you want to see whether the directors have been mischievous.
Okay.
Have they taken monies out front?
Mm-hmm.
You're looking back at the statements, right? And if you see the checks are drawn to their name, that's the easiest.
Follow suit lah.
But that's never the case.
We call Rishi in. Rishi
Sorry,
will come
Rishi.
in.
Recover.
It's not never the case, but more likely than not, they've been well advised.
Mm.
They just take cash. It's a check made on cash,
Yeah.
and they use that money. And then how do I prove who took this cash? That's where we get stuck. But nowadays it's also quite helpful because the banks are also very careful. When you withdraw cash, they actually keep a record of who came to collect the check
And the reason as well.
and the reasons as well. So recently the banks are also depends bank to banks. Some banks keep track, some don't. So those who keep track, we can trace. But if they don't keep track, we won't know.
Okay, so what was the longest time you took to secure back the property? What
I think honestly, property isn't the big concern.
I mean, other inventories or movable properties.
Sometimes movable properties, once it's gone, it's gone.
Mm.
Okay, I give you a simple example. Something that doesn't worth much, like you go into an office building, office furnitures, right? Okay, maybe the whole big factory or the whole big office, maybe everything amounts to maybe, let's say, 100,000, and you
Okay.
want to recover this 100,000 worth of asset, but
Gone already.
sometimes it's just gone. Someone has taken it. Even if you know who has taken it, right? The question is,
How do you prove
how
that
do
the
you
fellow has
prove
taken
that
it?
these table, chairs, or whatever these valuable items are in the office belongs to the company and not the person that has taken it away?
Oh.
So securing that asset, is also sometimes challenging. Or even, I think one of the tougher examples would be machineries. Machinery, sometimes you should have the serial code there. You have your documentations, you can go in, you can tell, okay, this machine with this serial code, this model number, year of manufacturing belongs to the company. I've seen before. Yes, the serial code. The whole registration plate is there,
Okay.
but it's just been tampered with. They just scratch it and things like that, and it's no longer visible. Sometimes they just remove the whole thing, so you can see that that machine is there, but
You don't know it belongs to who.
yeah, you can't tell for certain.
There's a lot of loophole,
Yeah,
Any tricks also can come out.
Malaysians are pretty mischievous
Yeah.
people.
magicians.
More
Very
appropriate.
creative, you know.
Correct. They say because properly advised already.
Ah,
No, I mean like really lawyers, accountants, right? The business people would not really have that kind of flair, flamboyance, but
Some
they got the
their
right
advice, their
person, yeah,
advice, yeah.
who probably have an interest in it, I suppose. You know.
Yeah, at the start, when they want to set up, they never ask for the right advice.
Yes.
After
But when
that,
they want to run, they'll ask for the right advice.
So you say various types. Like that's what I was saying. From one case to another, right? Depending on the nature of the business and how much they know of what can be done. So I have had a situation where selling of durians, for example. Yeah, not many people know Malaysia. And selling of durians can be a it was for the longest time very very lucrative business if you're dealing with the export market, right?
All right.
And then just in terms of quality of stock alone and manipulation of it,
Manipulation.
in so far as what happens in they call it the cool room or the storage room, there can be very wide permutations. A lot of things can be done. So when a company is going to be going bust, if you have grade A quality,
Okay.
but you can make off-market dealings and dispose it, and fill the cold room with cheap quality,
Okay.
you will have players who assist you with that, and by right, when liquidator comes in, this is all actually part of the clawing back exercise. And so this is just durians alone. Can you imagine from business to business, industry to industry, in this day and age, even more so, everything has got its own nuance insofar as an industry is concerned. So,
I don't
a
know.
lot of things. I was quite fascinated by the durian situation.
That's a magic room, bro. Things just change and
Yes.
Oh.
Pulp, and because you got so many types of products you can make from the durian paste alone. Yeah.
that's how I think the lower grades one, they take it and they make like a durian biscuit and other kind of products, durian
okay.
related and things like that.
So if someone else is in the market and they're doing well, and someone else is going to go insolvent but has good quality,
Then they're just
so
gonna-
it's just a marriage of convenience when it comes to Twilight Zone with this happening, right?
And it's very hard. How would I know this durian was my durian that I sold to you? You
Yeah.
just, yeah, that's why some inventories are quite impossible to claw back or track.
Okay.
So it depends. So
I
let's say if you have a
understand.
housing development and
Oh.
your inventory is
The
a
house cannot
property.
run away, right?
Yeah, it's very different circumstances.
Oh, okay.
Nothing to
Then the
worry.
circumstances like the one Rishi has mentioned, it's very very different.
Yeah.
And then if you have those that involve in shipping industry,
Oh.
you may have ships in the middle of the sea, which if they turn off the device, you can't track. So there's just
Hmm.
all sorts of industries with a lot of permutations, and
Ghost
people are smart.
So,
ghost stocks can
Ah.
over invoice. I mean, you see, so some of it also borderlines money laundering.
Okay,
trade based money
okay,
laundering.
that one is
when
doable,
Anoopal
doable.
mentions that, and it's
Yeah.
like the trick. Said a lot of it, and of course, at the state of affairs of an enforcement in our country also. So yeah.
Okay, so that means if I want to open a business, I should open a business that I can easily. I don't know if I should be saying this.
It's
I
unfiltered, right?
I can
Edit,
easily
edits.
Yeah.
amend the numbers, or I can lucratively move my stocks. Correct or not?
No lah, you just open your own firm and give the proper advice.
They say you have secured finally.
So long, after so long, oh, finally we secured.
Now we need to find someone who wants to buy this
Oh
stuff.
no!
What we think is a grade A durian, which,
No, became great
sea or something, and then you need to find a buyer for it, you know?
Okay. Okay. How successful have you guys in your tenure lah of this of your job? What was the most successful realization you had?
Actually, that's a very simple answer. If as long as it's a land, you're good.
Okay.
If you give me durians after 1 year, no one's gonna buy it.
We were
Oh my
through a
god, yeah,
durian
actually
party.
that's
ah.
true. What if it's like after so
We were
long
through a
it's
durian party,
perishable,
trust me.
right?
Bumper
Yeah.
harvest.
Yeah.
So what you're gonna get admission tickets, if you wanna come and eat durian, you have to pay this amount.
No,
Durian
chances
buffet
are by
lah.
the time we even can get our hands on it, firstly, it may not be there. Secondly, even if it's there, it's probably not in good state anymore.
Yeah.
And this is really just talking about inventory, but let's talk about the assets that the company actually holds. Then you're just looking at plant and machinery.
Okay.
Generally, a lot of inventory, hard to say because, in fact, many years ago we did one which was a pyramid scheme for gold. We never saw the gold.
Is it Geneva?
Something like Geneva, yeah.
Mm.
I think it was Geneva anyway. Yeah, but we never saw the gold. So very hard. When it comes to inventory, it's the most easy to move, very easy to rig, and there is very hard to document it. So it's as good as gone lah, unless you can really, really trace, which is quite difficult. So if the inventory has converted to cash, then we focus on the cash trail. So
So
therefore, realization actually primarily focuses on plant and machinery because that's going to be the most practical thing to do.
okay. Now say you got the money back. Okay. What is the hierarchy that you're going with to pay? Secured, unsecured, especially unsecured. Who do you decide to pay first?
I think the secured will always be the
Yeah,
secured.
yeah.
So
That's
they'll
okay.
get
We can
first.
forget about the secured people.
Yeah.
What about the non-secured people? So
After
many.
that, the non-secured, Anu's fee will be first.
Lawyers.
Mine and Rishi.
Rishi's fees will be second.
Second, yes, correct.
Yeah.
Still second to liquidator fee.
I mean, in short, the liquidators and professional fees and all the liquidation expenses that comes first.
Okay.
Because that's what we are doing, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
What
Apart
if there's
from that,
accountant? Accountant comes what, third?
I mean, it all falls under the whole liquidation expense.
Okay,
Whatever we
okay.
incurred after the appointment and the winding up of the company.
Okay.
Yeah. All the things that we take to do the work to get the job done.
Okay.
That comes first.
Yeah.
After that, it's just your usual, like what we mentioned earlier, the outstanding salaries, wages for the employees,
Okay.
and then your
Preferential.
contribution to the authorities, and then after that,
EPF,
your
SOXO,
EPF,
Mm.
SOXO. Then
Shouldn't
after
that actually come? I mean, I don't want to say that our fee is not important, but EPF, all that should come second. No.
Rishi's face just turned.
Dude, by the time you're getting to that point, you have already been very patient as a lawyer to
Yeah.
stick around.
No, but EPF also has to be paid, no?
It does, of course.
So I mean, it's under the act.
Okay, everything will be paid, right? Like by ranking 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah,
5, 6,
yeah.
7. But at the end of the day,
I think reach the first one no more already.
no lah. The first few.
First few.
Yeah, the first few.
Okay.
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 It all depends on how much money there is. And
Uh-huh.
actually the debt level of the company.
Mhm.
You know. If it's a straightforward case, we can get the job done fast. The general liquidation expenses will not be so high,
Okay.
you know, and then more will flow down as well.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
if it's a it's a complicated file where you need to go and claw back asset or take certain legal actions, and then it involve the lawyers as well. These will be files that takes a long time, and the cost will increase as well.
Mm.
Yeah,
Rishi, have you ever not received your money back?
not from the liquidators.
Oh, many a times. As lawyers who want to do post liquidation work, that's why I do selective post liquidation work. You know, you need to understand that you need to have a great deal of patience. You know, there is no such thing as suing the liquidator if you're not going to get Who are you going to sue? For your unpaid fees, and
No,
it
but
doesn't even work that way.
yeah.
Even if you're paid and your relationship with the liquidator is very different from a relationship with your traditional client. Yeah. So
Okay. So basically, you take a long time. After you take a long time, you might not get back your money. So you might have waited for nothing.
Depends who you are. I
Well,
mean, the
we're-
last is the unsecured portion. Lah. Yeah.
if I have gotten a judgment, can I move up a bit?
No. If you're unsecured, you're unsecured.
Judgment is not secure enough.
so that's the part, and it's good that you bring up the very important part of addressing the
Liquidation,
undue preference for unsecured creditors, and so that's a whole host of things where liquidators have to deal with as well, right?
Yeah, so undue preference is assuming that these monies were used to pay off certain creditors prior to liquidation and things
Okay.
like that. Then obviously there was a favorism to pay someone over another, and it builds up if that party is related to the company or there's some internal interest with the company.
Mhm.
And I just wanted to point out that this whole exercise to go and claw back undue preferences or even to investigate into the affairs of the directors of the company,
Mhm.
um, it really boils down to money. Because at the end of the day, we may have found things that is worth pursuing
Okay.
because there's evidence, but the likelihood of actually practically being able
it
to
back.
get the money back may not be
Worth the
worth
hassle.
the exercise.
It could end up like a paper judgment.
It could end up a paper judgment. It could end up you just putting the directors to bankruptcy, but it doesn't
Give you
result
anything
in
you
realization
want.
of asset. And in fact, we have just incurred more liability into the company.
Yeah, then what's the point, right?
Right. So these are the conversations and the thought that we have to think
Pour
through
in.
before we decide whether is it really worthwhile pursuing
Mhm.
certain actions.
Mhm.
And most of the time we seek funders. If there are parties, usually it's the petitioner, if they are willing to fund or without, they're just willing to fund it
Without strings attached.
without strings attached, we will go ahead. But if there is unlikely any funding, unlikely for possibility of recovery, it's just going to be another drag of process. It's very devastating news, I know.
The situation
is.
with undue preference, whatever Anoopal just shared, yes, there are those scenarios. Sometimes it can be a nuanced scenario. What do I mean by that is that now you have a situation in which there was fraud upon a class of shareholders,
Okay.
right? Fraud or deceit upon a class of shareholders. So it is a class of shareholders, right? Now, assuming that one of the shareholders got whiff of this deceit earlier, lawyered up, and demanded for his amount of the equity back
Okay.
before anything else was discovered by other shareholders,
Okay.
right? It may feel like as though there's nothing wrong going on there, right? What I mean by this is assuming he demanded and said, okay, these are the facts. This I say is the deceit. And because of this, you've caused loss upon me in this sum. This is the amount I put in. And assuming he just wanted his money back of what he put, he or she wanted his money, their money back of what they put in. And they demand that amount only. Now, insofar as the company is concerned, if you pay that one person, that is deemed to be undue preference later.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can't simply just settle to say,
Yeah.
I want to pay this, because it's a class of people, the other people. So if I want to pay this one person,
You have to pay the
I
others
have to
also.
settle this whole stock.
Oh. And
So
I might not
like
have enough
this,
funds.
so undue preference, this concept can be stretched. It can be quite wide.
So would it be safe for me to say that invest in a company safely, wisely?
Oh, absolutely. No. Nowadays you have all sorts of things. Especially when they come and tell you they're going to put you in one bracket and there are going to be layers and layers of dilution. It's really immediate red flag from the start.
I think we've had a fruitful conversation, right? I think we have reached an end to this topic, this episode. Yes, like I said, it's very fruitful. I learned a lot, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this
Very much so.
topic.
Thank you
with me.
again. Celine.
Right?
For sure.
And of course, I hope that anyone who's watching this has learned a few things or two about liquidation. If you're wondering why you haven't gotten your money back, probably because Anoopal is working very hard on it and with with her team. Right. Okay. So, anyways, okay. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
All right. Bye.